10 years ago, I was in St. Louis, loving what I was doing, working with nonprofits and working with organizations to improve the city. I felt that I was participating in making this community better. And it's ironic that the actual thing that I wanted to do, the actual dream that I had, was what crumbled in front of me. And what's really painful and hurtful is when it crumbles because of no one else but yourself. I left St. Louis shattered, depressed, full of shame, full of guilt, because I had made promises and pledges and obligations that I could not fulfill. I slid into the shadows, and one day I just left. And I was gone for about 4 months. My family, my friends, no one knew where I was. I had lost all my money. I had lost my pride. I was living out of my car. I was just staying at stores, at bus stops, at parks, wherever I could find a place where I thought I might be safe for the night. When the police eventually found me, I was eating Chef Boyardee ravioli out of a can because I couldn't heat it up. It was a November day. The leaves had pretty much fallen to the ground. I was worried about the winter. I was worried about how I would stay warm. And I made that decision that day that I was going to be better and that I was going to be able to make the change and show people that one can change, that the past doesn't actually have to equal the present. Every time you know more clearly where you don't want to be, at that same moment, you know more clearly than ever where you do want to be and what you do want to do. The only problem with that is once you make that decision to change, the rest of the world, your family, your friends, see you as the person you are, which is the deteriorated Larry, the crumbling Larry, the Larry that's living out of the car, the Larry that made the bad decisions, the Larry that had shame, the Larry that had guilt, because they were looking and examining the reality where I are, even though I made the decision in my mind to create the change. So I knew I was going to get there because I had made that decision in my mind, but I still wasn't there. And that's what the commitment is, doing what you said you'd do long after the feeling is gone. Don't let folks keep you down. Where you've been is where you've been. I'm sorry for the decisions I made. I know it caused hurt, a lot of hurt, to friends, to family, to organizations, to people that were around me. And I can't go back and change that. But what I can do is be an inspiration for others, be an inspiration for myself, and to set an example for people that want to create movement and create change in their lives. So I made the decision not too long ago to come back to St. Louis. Friends and family said, "Why do you want to come back to St. Louis? That's the place where everything went wrong for you. That's the place where you left a trail of obligations and debts, and you have a bad reputation there, if you will." And I said, I can't let what they think rule me. What they think has nothing to do about what I think. My dream has always been to be a part of a group or be a part of a process to make St. Louis better. So I made the decision to come back, and I know there's people here that wish I would have stayed away, and I'm sorry, and I understand that, but I'm here. And I just want to say to people out there that if you're somewhere where you don't want to be, and you're somewhere where you feel lost, you can be there too. You can be the new and improved change of you. And you begin that with appreciating where you are, because where you are has given birth to a clarity of where you want to be. I never knew more clear in my life than when I was sitting homeless in my car, eating out of a can of Chef Boyardee, weighing 350 pounds, not knowing how I would have money the next day. I never knew more clearly where I wanted to be from that point on. See, it's not as hard as a lot of people think. All you have to do is let go of where you are and give 100% of your focus to where you want to go, and not to judge the time that it takes. What happened to me and what's happened to people like me out there doesn't have to be the end of the story. There is more, and it begins with you, and it begins with making a decision today, and it begins with giving 100% of your focus to where you want to be, and it begins with making a committed decision.